In the quiet solitude of my dimly lit room, I sat hunched over my laptop, my curiosity getting the better of me once again. The allure of the dark web had always fascinated me, its reputation for secrecy and hidden knowledge drawing me in like a moth to a flame. Little did I know that my journey into the depths of the digital abyss would unleash a nightmare beyond imagination. With shaky hands, I launched the secure browser and activated the VPN, my heart racing in anticipation and fear. The dark web's underbelly was a labyrinth of encrypted websites, each more cryptic than the last. As I delved deeper, the air around me seemed to grow colder, and the quiet hum of my computer became a haunting melody in the silence. I stumbled upon a forum that claimed to unveil the hidden truths of the digital realm, a place where users shared tales of their encounters with entities that defied explanation. The stories ranged from the supernatural to the extraterrestrial, each more unsettling than the last. Skepticism battled with fascination within me, and I found myself drawn deeper into the threads. It was in one of these threads that I encountered a post that sent a chill down my spine. The user, going by the name Watcher, described an entity that had the ability to traverse the digital landscape, preying on unsuspecting users. Its modus operandi was simple yet horrifying. It would infiltrate their devices, spying on every aspect of their lives, learning their deepest fears and secrets. As I read the chilling accounts of those who claimed to have encountered the Watcher, a sense of unease settled over me. The stories were eerily similar, random messages appearing on screens, unexplainable glitches in devices, and an overwhelming sensation of being watched. I dismissed it as mere internet folklore, but deep down a gnawing doubt remained. Days turned into weeks, and I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Shadows seemed to dance at the edge of my vision, and every creak of the floorboards became a harbinger of impending doom. Paranoia tightened its grip on me, and I started covering my laptop's camera with tape, a feeble attempt to shield myself from an unseen adversary. Late one night, as I was lost in a sea of dark web forums, a message notification popped up on my screen. A message from an unfamiliar username. The message was succinct yet chilling. "I see you." My heart raced and a cold sweat broke out on my forehead. My mind raced, searching for logical explanations, but deep down, I knew that something sinister was at play. The messages continued, growing in intensity and malevolence. They knew details about my life that I had never shared online. Personal conversations, private moments, even the layout of my own apartment. Panic surged through me, and I disconnected from the internet, my trembling hands clutching the sides of the laptop as if it were a lifeline. But the digital realm was no longer the sole domain of the Watcher. The line between the online world and reality began to blur. Late at night, I would hear faint whispers that seemed to come from within the walls themselves. Shadows took on a life of their own, morphing into grotesque forms that seemed to taunt and mock me. Sleep became elusive, and my once ordered life descended into chaos. Friends and family became distant figures, their voices muffled by the persistent whispers that echoed in my mind. Desperation led me to seek help, but the professionals I turned to were powerless in the face of an adversary that operated beyond the confines of the tangible world. In a final bid to break free from the Watcher's grip, I embarked on a journey of digital purification. I scoured forums and websites for methods to cleanse my devices, to sever the connection between myself and the malevolent entity. Hours turned into days as I painstakingly followed intricate rituals and incantations, my hope hanging by a thread. And then one fateful night it happened. The messages ceased, the shadows retreated, and the whispers faded into nothingness. The air around me felt lighter, and a profound stillness settled over the room. The Watcher had vanished as abruptly as it had appeared, leaving behind a trail of shattered sanity and broken normalcy. To this day, I grapple with the trauma of that harrowing ordeal. The digital world, once a source of fascination, has become a haunting reminder of the terrors that can lurk in its shadows. The Watcher's presence lingers, a chilling testament to the vulnerability of our interconnected lives. In the dim glow of my computer screen, I ventured once again into the depths of the dark web. The warnings of danger and secrecy were not enough to deter my curiosity. The allure of the hidden and forbidden was too strong to resist, pulling me into its abyss like a moth drawn to a flame. As I navigated through encrypted websites and obscure forums, a sense of unease settled over me. The air seemed to thicken with every click, and the silence of my room was broken only by the faint hum of the computer. I stumbled upon a thread discussing a legend, an entity that was said to traverse the digital realm, seeking those who dared to tread into its domain. The legend spoke of a being known as Null, an amalgamation of data and consciousness, born from the darkest recesses of the internet. Null was said to feed on the fear and curiosity of users who ventured into the forbidden corners of the dark web. The more you sought to uncover its secrets, the stronger its grip on your reality became. Brushing off the tale as a mere urban legend, I continued my exploration, my skepticism acting as a shield against the growing unease. But with each passing moment, the sensation of being watched intensified. The hairs on the back of my neck stood on end, and a shiver ran down my spine as I felt a presence looming just beyond my field of vision. Messages started appearing on the screen, each more cryptic and unsettling than the last. "I see you," they whispered, echoing through the digital void. Panic welled up inside me, and I frantically searched for the source of the messages. But there was no trace, no thread to follow, only the suffocating feeling of being ensnared by an entity I couldn't comprehend. As the night deepened, I realized that escape was futile. Disconnecting from the dark web did nothing to alleviate the feeling of being trapped. Null had breached the boundaries of the virtual world and had taken residence in my mind. Its whispers became incessant, a chorus of darkness that echoed in the recesses of my thoughts. Sleep became a distant memory as I grappled with the entity's relentless torment. Hallucinations danced at the edges of my vision, twisted forms that seemed to emerge from the shadows, only to dissipate when I turned to face them. Every corner of my room became a potential hiding place for Null, and every sound was a reminder of its watchful presence. Days blurred into nights as I descended further into madness. I questioned the boundaries between reality and illusion, wondering if the world around me was real or merely a construct of Null's manipulation. The line between my own thoughts and the entity's whispers grew thin, and I found myself questioning my own sanity. In a desperate bid for freedom, I sought out those who had encountered Null before, scouring the darkest corners of the web for any trace of information. It was during one of these searches that I stumbled upon a single thread, an account from someone who claimed to have broken free from Null's grasp. Their words offered a glimmer of hope, a slender thread of possibility that I clung to like a lifeline. Armed with their advice, I embarked on a grueling journey of self-discovery. I had to confront my deepest fears, my most profound insecurities, those vulnerabilities that Null exploited to gain power over me. It was an agonizing process, a battle waged within the recesses of my own mind. But with each step, I felt the entity's grip weaken, and then one day the whispers ceased. The oppressive weight that had plagued my thoughts lifted, and I was free from Null's clutches. The relief was overwhelming, but the scars of the ordeal remained. I had glimpsed the abyss that lurked within the digital realm, and it had left an indelible mark on my psyche. To this day, I am cautious of the hidden corners of the internet, wary of the dangers that lie beneath the surface. The legend of Null serves as a haunting reminder that the digital realm is not just a realm of information and connection. It is also a realm of darkness, where entities beyond comprehension can lurk, waiting to ensnare those who dare to venture too far. I decided to venture into the depths of the dark web using a secure browser and VPN. Little did I know, this decision would plunge me into a nightmare unlike anything I could have ever anticipated. As I delved deeper into the murky corners of the dark web, I stumbled upon a forum that seemed to be discussing individuals' private lives. The chilling part was the details they were discussing were eerily accurate. Personal conversations, places I had visited, even my daily routines. Panic set in as I realized someone was not only watching me but also documenting every move I made. I attempted to dismiss it as an elaborate prank, but the evidence was too substantial to ignore. The more I read, the more convinced I became that someone was indeed spying on me. My heart raced and paranoia gripped me in a suffocating embrace. Every shadow seemed to hide a pair of eyes. Every creak of the floorboards felt like an intruder's footsteps. Sleep became a distant memory as I obsessed over uncovering the truth. I decided to fight fire with fire and started searching for any clues that could lead me to the source of this torment. Days blurred into nights as I tirelessly clicked through encrypted websites and deciphered cryptic messages, always feeling like someone was breathing down my neck. One evening, while scouring a particularly ominous forum, a private message popped up, a message that would forever haunt my nightmares. The sender claimed to be the puppeteer behind the curtains, relishing in my distress. They knew about my childhood fears, my secrets, my desires, details I had never shared with anyone. The words on the screen felt like a violation of my very soul. As days turned into weeks, the torment escalated. My laptop's camera light flickered on randomly, capturing moments of my life that were meant to be private. The sensation of being constantly watched gnawed at my sanity. The lines between reality and paranoia blurred, and I found myself questioning every interaction, every shadow, every whisper of wind. The breaking point came on a stormy night, when I received an email containing a video attachment. Trembling, I clicked play, and what unfolded on the screen shattered my sanity. It was me, asleep in my bed, completely unaware of the intruder who was slowly approaching. The video abruptly cut off, leaving a sinister message that echoed in my mind. "I'm closer than you think." I barricaded myself in my apartment, frantically searching for a way to escape this living nightmare. The walls felt like they were closing in on me, and the feeling of being trapped was suffocating. Sleep deprivation gnawed at my mind, blurring the line between reality and hallucination. Every shadow seemed to morph into a twisted figure, every sound a whisper of imminent doom. Desperation led me to seek help from the authorities, but my pleas fell on deaf ears. The concept of the dark web was foreign to them, and they dismissed my claims as delusions. I was truly on my own, trapped in a cycle of fear and despair. With no other option, I decided to confront my tormentor head-on. I gathered every ounce of courage I had left and composed a message, a defiant challenge to this faceless predator. The response came swiftly, a single sentence that sent shivers down my spine. "You can't escape me." Days turned into weeks as the psychological torture continued. I became a mere shell of my former self, haunted by the relentless pursuit of an enemy I could neither see nor comprehend. The lines between the real world and the dark web's sinister realm blurred to the point where I questioned my own existence. And then, one fateful night, the torment abruptly stopped. The messages ceased, the camera light remained dark, and the feeling of being watched began to fade. But the scars remained, a constant reminder of the terror I had endured. To this day, I can't shake the feeling that someone out there still watches, lurking in the shadows of the digital abyss. The dark web's malevolent presence continues to haunt me, a reminder that even in the darkest corners of the internet, evil can take root and twist reality into a nightmare beyond comprehension.